Still some time till the opening bell. Let's take a look at what's moving here this morning. First, we got to check in on shares of Broadcom. It's the ticker symbol AVGO. That's moving lower this morning, fractionally lower right now by about 0.5%. That's following a report that Apple will stop using Broadcom's chips in its devices by 2025. According to Bloomberg, Apple expects to shift into manufacturing their own chips by the end of next year. Apple had kind of signaled this a little bit more with the way that they were moving and how they were structuring some of their partnerships, especially with one Qualcomm as well. And so on the chip side, this is something that's been kind of in the cards for Apple. It's just a matter of how swiftly they were going to put this plan into motion as well.
Right. That might be why we're not seeing more of a reaction in Broadcom or in Qualcomm for that matter, because the reporting also says that the modem chips that Qualcomm makes are going to be moved away from by Apple. Interesting in terms of how much this accounts for in Broadcom's sales line. According to Wells Fargo, it's 20% of Broadcom's total revenue, or about 85% of the company's wireless segment revenue in fiscal 2022. So it's a big chunk, but the company is also aware of it and trying to look for other sources of revenue.
Yeah, and they have been. You look at acquiring VMware. You look at them also a couple years ago buying CA Technologies. You can argue that longtime CEO Hock Tan has been seeing this day coming for a long time from Apple, and he's been trying, to your point, Julie, diversify that business.
Right. It's more about vertical integration for them, too, and how they cut costs even in kind of that next wave of the super cycle that they may anticipate for handset devices and even for computer devices. And if they're taking more of that manufacturing of the chip under their own helm, then that could help them kind of trim some of the fat in terms of their cost basis as well that they currently have.
Right. There's sort of two sides to this story, right? There's what it means to Apple suppliers, and then there's what it signals to us for ongoing Apple strategy as it tries to at the same time gain more control over its supply chain by making more of these chips in-house, and also diversify its supply chain, as we've been hearing recently, moving more into India manufacturing from China and Taiwan manufacturing, for example. So it's quite interesting, just the two sides of that and what Apple is going to look like a decade from now or even 5 years from now in terms of its manufacturing process.
Well, it will still have to have key partners like this, I would imagine. I get they're trying to put their whole supply chain in-house, but if you come out with an Apple car, whatever that might look like, maybe it's just technology that goes onto a self-driving car, or you come out with AR, VR glasses, that's more product lines, more chips you're going to need.
Well, it seems like they're going to try and circumvent the manufacturers themselves and perhaps just drum up more materials partners on that front too, as long as they can figure out how to do some of the nano production that's necessary for these chips too.